Okay, let's look at the B section of this piece now, because there's an important concept I want to point out here. So here it is. Let's just hear it. Okay, so what's going on here? Let's do the same kind of treatment. Let's look at what are our pitches in the right hand. So we have D, C, B flat, another C, and A, a G, and F, a G, F, C, B flat, C, A, G, F, G, F, A. Okay, that's all of them. Okay, so now let's get them in order. Let's start at C, because if we don't have another reason to, that's a good spot to start. C, D, there's no E, F, G, A, B flat. Okay, so there they are in an order. Okay. And let's do the same thing with our left hand. A little bit easier because there's only 3 notes. We have D, E, and B flat. D, E, and B flat. That's it, right? Yeah. Okay, so what does that tell us? Well, we look here, we have an E here, and that's a note we've skipped over here, which is interesting. The main thing to understand here is that typically, and this isn't true universally, there's no more universal truths when you're looking at 20th century music. But typically, if a composer in a piece is doing something like this, like using 2 modes, one in each hand, that typically is going to continue through another section. So let's look at, could that be happening over here? Now before, over here, we were using the same mode, right? This was D Ionian and D Aeolian. Could that be true over here? I actually don't think it is. I think we're still using D Aeolian in the left hand, but we're actually using F Ionian in the right hand. Because if we look through here, basically we have an F major scale here. We've left off E, but we have everything else. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E. So we have F major. You can also say, well, we also have D minor. But that's true. But this really kind of points to F major. C, C, A, G, F, right? A little run down lands on F, up to G, back to F. C is a good indication because it's the 5 of F. Another run down to F. Ends on F. This by itself, if you didn't hear it with this would feel like F major. It'd be like a nice little F major melody. This, however, is very D minor-ish sounding, right? It's just dun da dun da 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 da. So I would argue that we're still doing the 2 mode thing, but our right hand has switched to F Ionian, so F major, and our left hand has stayed in D minor, right? Now you could argue this whole section is just straight up D minor. It's just weird because our right hand doesn't point to D minor at all, except for this first note. Our left hand doesn't point to D minor at all. Wait, do I have these backwards? I have these backwards. No, I don't have them backwards. Left hand is the low one, right? Oh my gosh, my brain. So you could say this whole thing is D minor because in a normal piece, we would analyze this whole thing as D minor, because all of this D. We wouldn't separate the left and right hand. That would be weird in any other music that we've looked at, right? But because we were clued into it over here, where it's really obviously that something different is happening between the two hands, now we would continue that logic onward throughout the rest of the piece and see if we can make it work for the rest of the piece. It may or may not, but usually it does. Usually if a composer starts off with some kind of thing like that, he's going to stick to it. So this kind of pan-modal idea, using multiple modals or bimodal idea, if they do it, it's going to stick to it. Cool? Okay, let's talk about one more thing about why are modes coming back, and then we're going to move on and look at some other types of collections.